I am very happy to say that I found a strategy that makes the Nebula Camo grind a whole lot easier in Black Ops 6 Zombies. Now don't worry, this isn't gonna be some crazy clickbait video where I'm like, oh man, you're about to get one weapon done every 60 minutes, you'll have this done within a day of playtime, this is the craziest, most broken strategy in Black Ops 6 Zombies, do this before Treyarch patches it! No, it's just like a really basic strategy that I found. It's just sort of one of those things where I put two and two together of like, hey, this thing makes this thing happen, so this should work. I don't think Treyarch would patch this for any reason. If they do, it'd be kind of stupid, but even if they do, the main strategy itself works, so we'll get into that as we get into the game. But anyway, I only need about 500 or one more headshots here for the AS Val, and then I'll be able to do the specialty challenges, which is pretty easy. 30 parasite eliminations, 300 eliminations with dead wire equipped, and then 10 kills rapidly 15 times, which is the same for every single weapon. Also, if you're wondering why I'm using Energy Mine as my field upgrade, because normally I'd be using Frenzy Guard, I'm just trying to get all of the diamond badges across multiplayer and zombies right now, because I know there's one for multiplayer. There's like a dark matter badge over in multiplayer. I'm assuming there's one for zombies as well. I mean, it doesn't matter. Even if there's not a dark matter badge, I'm cool with just getting diamond for all of them, because the diamond badges do look really cool in this game regardless. So basically, first things first, I come over here and turn on the Rampage Inducer just to speed up the first couple rounds. There it is. We just got whiteout camo, which you get for getting 1,500 headshots, so making progress towards the final 2,000, then we're on to the specialty challenges. But anyway, just in case you don't feel like watching the entire video, which is totally justified, our time on this earth is finite, there's only 24 hours in a day, I'll save you some time. Basically, what I'm going to be doing in this video is going and grabbing the water valve from Lily's flower shop, or flower pot, or whatever that store is called, taking it to the right side of the the bowling lanes there in the bowling alley where you need a knife off or shoot off that panel. Once you attach the water valve and start turning it, it's going to increase the rate that the zombies spawn. And yeah, that's literally it. That is my strategy. Just training there in the bowling alley so there's while the zombie spawns are sped up. And it is worth noting that anytime that you leave the bowling alley, which you are going to need to do, to go upgrade your weapons with salvage or pack a punch, the zombie spawns will slow back down and you're going to need to turn the valve again, because it's essentially just going to restart that process. But again, it's no big deal. It's not going to affect it long term. You just go back, turn the valve a little bit, the zombie spawns will speed back up, and then that's really that. And you just kind of do that infinitely, it seems. I haven't had a point where it just sort of slows down. It just seems to keep going like that. Now, it is worth noting that I don't know if any other YouTubers have actually been covering this strategy, just because for those that don't know, I actually don't watch YouTube anymore. I just don't enjoy watching videos on the platform. Between all of the advertisements as well as the brain-rotting nature of even long-form content nowadays, the only YouTube content that I enjoy watching is content that I was watching 10 years ago when things still felt natural and genuine, which is why I create my content the way that I do. If I'm gonna be completely honest, if I could upload videos without thumbnails and with really basic titles, I would post my videos like that, but unfortunately, I hate using this word, but with the algorithm and with, the way that people work nowadays, obviously they want to watch content that looks appealing to them, so you kind of have to slap on the thumbnails and the crazy titles and all that. I don't enjoy doing it. I mean, I actually do really enjoy making thumbnails, the thumbnails that you guys see on my channel where you have, the face reaction there, and then usually a blurred background with an inspect animation of a gun. I actually really enjoy making those. I love going into Photoshop and tinkering and, editing out the backgrounds. It's actually a really fun process for me. I've always really enjoyed photo editing and stuff like that. It's just the fact that, you kind of have to go overboard with it. Well, not necessarily overboard. You don't need to go overboard with it, but, sometimes things just feel a bit oh man, look at me. You got this pretty thumbnail here. But that's why I make sure to at least be respectful with the way that I do. I don't overly saturate my thumbnails. I don't make my face reactions too extreme. Sure, there is some where I'm kind of there with the open mouth, whoa, and then I kind of got some where I'm covering my mouth whoa, but it's never anything too crazy. At least I don't think it's too crazy, and I also don't do that other thing that some YouTubers do where they AI upscale their faces 24 times, so then their faces look like they're made out of Play-Doh. I'm not trying to diss other creators right now, you do you create your content however you want to create it. I'm just kind of explaining my philosophies when it comes to creating content on this platform. And then as far as the titles go, I'm gonna be honest, I hate titling my videos the way that I do sometimes, where I have to have every other word capital letters. But the reality is, if I would try to title a video correctly, where it's just every word is capitalized, but it's not every single letter is capitalized, then it just makes the title look less appealing, and it's just, it's the hurdles you go through as a creator. That's why I make sure, even though like the title and thumbnails may look a bit wacky sometimes, I make sure to never go overboard with either. I make sure to never actually clickbait. If you see something in a title or a thumbnail, you will see that at some point in the video, and it will be relevant to the video. And then as far as the titles are concerned, again, I kind of hate having to spam the capital letters, but I always make sure that they're at least, you know, like genuine sounding to an extent, like, I unlocked Interstellar Camo in Modern Warfare 3, and it's beautiful. You know, it's just something basic like that, where the title might look a little extreme at its surface, but then it's literally just like usually a sentence with the keywords being capitalized. But anyway, another thing I would recommend doing when you're in here at Pack-a-Punch is shooting all of these crystals. I know this is like such a basic tip that probably everybody's given out at this point, but I mean, you know, you just shoot it, grab the salvage, because now obviously we need 1,000 in order to upgrade a rarity, but we also need 500 for dead wire. So I'll just go ahead and buy that a while. Typically I would buy you know, napalm burst when doing the strategy, just because that's the element that the manglers and abominations in this map are weak to, but obviously I need dead wire for the specialty challenge, so I'll just go ahead and buy that a while rather than, you know, buying multiple later on. So let's go ahead and keep going for the critical shots. I know some people would probably also recommend, like, making, I don't know, probably like a blueprint for the LR 7.62, so then you can do the one, you know, like, dead shot Easter egg to help with the headshots. You can do that, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. Me, personally, I'm not going to be doing that, just because my aim is good enough to where I don't, you know, need that. But anyway, before going and setting up in the bowling alley, I would recommend grabbing Juggernog, and then obviously grabbing the water valve. You can do the same trials if you want to. Personally, I don't, you know, I'm just going for headshots here, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep moving along. It's round 9, and we already have 130 critical kills, which means, I mean, we're going to be done with this in no time, right? Like, we only needed 501, so we only need a few hundred yet. You place the water valve, start to turn this, and, you know, once it gets up like a quarter of the way, I mean, you don't even need to do it a quarter of the way. I just like to do it a little bit just to make sure the zombies are really sped up here. And yeah, as you can see, round 9, they're all sprinting. It definitely worked, and now this is the easy part. We just do the rigmarole of running around, training them up, and this is literally it. You're just going to do this until like round 30, round 35. Once the zombies start to get too overbearing, or once you just feel like your guns aren't doing enough damage, even at max rarity, max pack-a-punch, even with like CHF barrels and deadshot and everything like that, then that would probably be a good time to exfil. I'd also probably recommend you, when it comes to like the augments for deadshot especially, either running the run that says further increases critical damage, or the one that says deal double damage to enemies at full health. Me personally, I use the one that further increases critical damage, because I feel like even if that first hit does do double damage, there's going to be a lot of scenarios where your ammo mod or lethals or one thing or another, maybe like a mangler shoots at a zombie. So many zombies are going to be at less than full health by the time you actually get to them, especially if they're wearing armor pieces, which will be happening a lot in the later rounds. I'd probably recommend just going for the overall increase in critical damage, just so then it's not a very niche scenario where it's like, okay, if this enemy is at full health, then it'll do double damage, but rather it's just increase double damage, or not double damage, but, you know, further increase critical damage across the board. Also, if you're like me and you're using a much slower extended mag, because I slapped on the maximum mag size for this AS Val here, since, you know, if you use the AS Val before, you know that it has a pretty tiny mag. Would definitely be a good idea to grab Speed Cola, and probably even Quick Revive, just to speed up your, you know, your regen speed. So I might dip out of here in a minute to go ahead and grab that, but otherwise, yeah, this is it. It's round 11. We already almost have 200 critical kills, and obviously we're doing this until like round 30. As long as your aim is true and your aim is good, you could easily knock out, I don't want to say an entire weapon in one match, but I mean, if you stick with it long enough, and maybe if you have like Killjoy Gobblegums or other things like that, and if you're utilizing this as well as like Sam Trials, because Sam Trials will provide you with more zombies, you might be able to get away with one weapon per game. I haven't gotten to actually fully test that. I've just gotten to test this strategy, and I know that it's working really well for me so far. So I just kind of wanted to put this out there just for anybody else that's looking to grind out Nebula Camo. I knew going into this that Nebula Camo was going to take me a lot longer than Dark Matter, so that's why I went ahead and knocked out Dark Matter Camo, and went ahead and also unlocked Dark Matter Camo on as many weapons as possible before doing Nebula, because not only did I want to have Dark Matter done, but I also just wanted to be able to use Dark Matter, as you saw at the beginning of this game, for example, where I'd just be able to spawn in, use it for a little while. I know you can also turn off the Pack-a-Punch camo, so then you can just keep, like, you know, for example, for me, I could just keep Dark Matter going the whole game. I might do that at some point, but I don't know, man. When I'm playing zombies, I like seeing the Pack-a-Punch camos, even if I've, you know, been able to see them before. You know, the camo is part of the Pack-a-Punch experience along with the cool sounds and the up damage, you know what I mean? It's like when you're playing Origins, you wouldn't just want to use like a basic camo, right? Like you want to be there to see that beautiful blue weaponized 115 look, except obviously it's like blue instead of green, or when you're playing Mob of the Dead, like, of course you want to see that iconic camo. Look at this, we're in round 12, and we almost have enough salvage to not only get our weapon up to epic, you know, rarity, but we also almost have it. Actually, no, we do have enough to go ahead and Pack-a-Punch again, so I'm gonna wait another round or so, and then we're gonna go out and we're gonna Pack-a-Punch again, as well as get our weapon up to epic rarity. And like I said, I apologize if you already knew about this strategy, or if this strategy's already been posted about to death. I haven't been on YouTube really that much since Black Ops 6 came out, so I don't know what everybody's been talking about. This is just something I was experimenting with this morning, and seems to be working pretty well for me. There may be some flaws to this strategy, like I don't know what things are like later on once the Abominations and Manglers start spawning, which is another thing I didn't think about, because I did get to a point, and you know, like where the Abominations did start coming in here, but it wasn't too bad. But that being said, you know, if you would push it up to like round 35 to 40, which I didn't try, I only got up to like the 20s and 30s, it might start to become a bit much at that point. Hard to say, but yeah, at least for the first like 25, 30 rounds, this strategy will work just fine. But anyway, there it is. We are at round 14, and we have a ton of money, ton of salvage, so we're going to go ahead and, as I said before, get our weapon up to epic rarity. Pack-a-Punch level 2, grab speed cola and quick revive. Also, as you probably noticed, the little meter on the left side of the screen went away, which, yeah, means once we get back, we'll have to turn the handle again, but again, that's like a 1-second process. You don't need to go out and grab the handle again from the hose or anything. It'll still be there in the bowling alley. You just need to go back, turn it for like a second or two, and then the zombie spawns will speed back up. Again, I don't see why in the world Treyarch would patch this. I mean, if they do patch it, then like I'll leave a pinned comment to let you guys know. But again, I don't see why they would patch this. It's not a glitch or anything like that. It's literally an intended feature of the map. And it's not even like it breaks zombie spawns or it gives you more zombies, because it's the same amount of zombies, except they're going a little bit faster. Which, you know what else you could do? You could literally just turn on the Rampage Inducer to get that as well. You know what I mean? But for me personally, the Rampage Inducer gets to be just a little bit much sometimes, so that's why I'm just kind of going with this strategy rather than the Rampage Inducer. But if you would combine this with the Rampage Inducer, you might get some deadly results, hard to say. Alright, so now we're on to round 15, and at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and grab a level 2 armor vest here in a moment as well. I literally just need to kill one more zombie. We're just 50 points off. Oh, never mind. It looks like it's a vermin round, so I guess I'll have to shoot a spider instead. There we go. Alright, now I got enough for the armor vest, and we are gonna exfil at the end of round 15, just because, you know, I already showed off the strategy. No point in dragging out the video. You guys already know what to do now. Even still, I've been playing for a little over 15 minutes, and I already have 300 critical kills, and obviously we're only round 15, and as the rounds go, there's going to be more zombies spawning in. They'll be spawning in faster. There's going to be more of them. So, you know, once you get up to, again, like the 25 to 30 range, if you're using this strategy, especially with the sped up spawns, I mean, you'll be flying through this in no time. Sure, it might still take you a little over a game to get it done. Like, I'd expect it to probably take you maybe like 1.25 to maybe 1.5 matches per weapon. But when it's all said and done, as long as you're being efficient, I think you could easily clear out a weapon maybe every hour. Maybe. I think I cracked a joke earlier in the video saying something about, like, I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, you can do a weapon every hour, but honestly, if you're being efficient here, I think that could be possible. Anyway, now here comes the easy part. We just gotta clear out the exfil zone, and then we'll be all good to get out of here. I'm gonna go ahead and use the energy mine here, just because I am going for the diamond badges, and I already got a good handful of critical kills. Obviously, I'm gonna need to dive into another match at some point, but I already expected that, because even once I'm done with my critical kills, I still gotta do the other 300 kills, and then, you know, the Mystic Gold challenge, but there it is. We can go ahead and enter the exfil chopper, and yeah, that's the strategy. I mean, obviously, don't be exfilling at like round 15 by any means. Like, go for as long as you can, but in terms of like the general strategy, you know, that's what I mean. Like, yeah. And if anyone's curious as to like my actual progress so far towards Nebula Camo, yeah, it's not looking too hot. So I have Mystic Gold for the XM4, and that's literally it. I have been like, it's because I've been using a lot of different weapons, right? Like, as you can see here, I got over 5,000 elims with the ASG. I also have like a ton of eliminations here with the GS45, because I've been doing a ton of Easter eggs. I've got like 800 here with the LR 7.62, but in terms of like actual camos and stuff, yeah, I still got a ways to go. But again, it was one of those things where before going into this, I knew Nebula Camo was going to take a very long time, so I just wanted to find the most efficient strategy as possible, and I'm hoping this is it. There might be an even better one out there that I'm unaware of or that the community will find soon, and if so, please let me know, because, you know, I'm really excited to go for Nebula. This is going to be a lot of fun grinding out headshots, just because I enjoy that basic zombies gameplay of running in circles and shooting zombies in the face, if I'm gonna be honest. But regardless, no matter what strategies you use, no matter what strategies you find, it's gonna take a while regardless of how you do it. So, we're all in this together. If you guys find any other, you know, better strategies, definitely let me know. But otherwise, this seems to be a pretty solid one at the moment, especially if you keep the Rampage Inducer the whole time. So, hopefully this helps somebody. But anyway, as always, massive shout out to go to the Patrons and channel members to get all in the low ball tier, and an even bigger shout out to the big ball tier, Melasking, MB Dan, Maddie, and the biggest shout out to the G tier, Run Events, and the Cheese Girl. Thank you guys so much. You guys are literal legends. I love you. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace.